Hello everyone, my name is Chris and I'm a certified orthotist and prosthetist here in Cape Town, South Africa. I've launched a startup, it's called OrthoAdditive Africa, and we provide additive manufacturing and CAD solutions and services and products for our industry here, whether it's the private sector, government sector or NGOs. As you probably already know, additive manufacturing has become a very popular and powerful tool in our profession, with many companies and practices already providing 3D printed devices for their patients. So we believe that additive manufacturing has the ability to overcome barriers to healthcare access, specifically in lower and middle income class countries such as South Africa. Traditional manufacturing methods often rely on expensive equipment, materials and components that are only available from overseas, and this makes it very expensive and often out of reach for a large portion of our population who needs these devices. Some examples of the products that I'm talking about are foot orthoses, which we print with FTM and foaming TPU materials, ankle foot orthoses, spinal braces, wrist hand braces, and of course prosthetic sockets. We've recently adopted Ugani Foundation's FTM 3D printing technology specifically to manufacture prosthetic sockets, and I'm quickly going to show you an example of that. So here you can see some of the prosthetic sockets that we 3D printed. They are printed with polypropylene, and here you can see one of those sockets actually attached to the terminal components. And on this side you can see our two dedicated FL Sun systems that we use specifically to print these prosthetic sockets. So we are currently based inside quite a big factory in Cape Town, and it belongs to a company called Shonaquip Social Enterprise. They develop and manufacture mobility equipment for people living with disabilities. That includes wheelchairs, wheelchair cushions, and custom seating solutions, especially for children living with disability. Now, these seats and cushions are manufactured by hand with foam. When you look in the international market, these things are usually manufactured by means of a milling or carving system where a big foam body is used, and then by means of CAD, the system is carved out. This technology is unfortunately not really applicable in South Africa. It's very expensive and we don't have access to support and spare parts or the skill sets required to operate these systems. And therefore we have to make use of alternative solutions, which, like I said, is in this case custom cut by hand foam pieces of material that are glued together and then adjusted according to the individual's needs. I'm just quickly going to run through the factory so you get a better idea of what I'm talking about. So you can see as I come into the factory, these are the shells in which the custom seats are actually built into. And then here on my right, you'll see some of the wheelchair bases onto which those shells fit. And then we go ahead and create these foam shapes and cushions. Here's a few examples of them. And these are cut by hand and shaped and adjusted and modified according to the individual's needs. So here on my left side, you'll see all the foam being cut into different sizes and shapes. And you'll see foam processing center here with all the different kinds of foams, and someone cutting some foam right there. And here you can see how it's layered and shaped and pieced together. Here are some of the devices ready for dispatch, and you can see the cushions has been covered, and they come with extra pieces so that the therapist can adjust, cut and paste accordingly to the individual's needs. Okay, so the problem with these foam cushions and seats is that they don't last very long. Here where we are, they're often exposed to very harsh environments in rural areas. They absorb sweat and urine quite a lot, and they need to be replaced quite frequently. So together with Shonaquip, we are currently developing a range of products that are 3D printed with TPU materials. And by printing this in TPU, they are more durable, they are more breathable, they are more hygienic, and it might just be much more appropriate for our environment. So we are currently in the development phase. The next phase would be prototyping, and for that we're going to need a medium large format printer, one that's fairly open source, an open architecture, so that if something goes wrong we can repair or replace the components. And that's specifically why I'm entering for this competition with the gigabyte scale. So thank you for your time. I know this video is a little bit longer than you expected. I'm sure this will really create quite a big impact in the environment where there are many disabled people who don't have access to assistive devices and mobility devices. And thank you for your time.